for the Planet of the Apes is the third installment in the Planet of the Apes reboot series. This takes place a few years after Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and humanity and the apes are now at war with each other, and after suffering unimaginable losses, Caesar really has to deal with the inner demons within himself. Now that's all I'm going to say about the plot. This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I really liked Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This reboot series is awesome. This movie really surprised me, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I thought it was going to suck when it was first released, and it ended up being really good. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes topped it. And I just thought to myself, it would be really nice if we can just get a solid trilogy, even if this wasn't as good as Dawn or Rise, but it was still a good movie. Just a solid trilogy, I would be happy. I thought Rise was a really good movie. I thought Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was even better. War for the Planet of the Apes tops both of them. This movie is awesome. This movie is a technological achievement. Watching this movie, there is no way you would ever believe that these are CGI'd apes. You would think that these apes were taken out of the wild and thrown into a movie. That is how real these apes look with motion capture technology. It was flawless. It was stunning. It just goes to show you how many countless hours and how much hard work goes into making something so technologically advanced like that it is almost flawless. The biggest praise I have for this movie is that it went in the direction where it's the Apes movie. It's no longer split up evenly. It's no longer a 50-50 humans, apes type of movie. 50% of the movie doesn't deal with the humans. 50% of the movie doesn't deal with the apes. It's more 80-20 in favor of the apes. This is the Apes movie. The apes are characters, and the apes themselves are just magnificent characters. Caesar has been one of the greatest heroes ever put on screen. Out of these three movies, this is probably Caesar at his worst. Not as a character, but as to what he has to go through and the events that he takes up in this movie. It's really emotional. Especially when you watch all three of them back to back, like I did. I rewatched Rise, and then I rewatched Dawn. Because I hadn't seen them in a while, and I was like, I gotta watch them before I see War for the Planet of the Apes. And it just made me that much more emotionally invested in the character of Caesar. And everything he goes through in this movie is just emotional. He is pushed to his limits in this movie. A lot of the decisions that Caesar makes in this movie proves that he is a flawed sentient. Just like everybody else. Not everybody makes perfect decisions. We all make mistakes. Caesar, despite looking like he was a perfect and flawless character, has flaws. That added a lot to his character. There is a new ape introduced in this movie called Bad Ape, played by Steve Zahn. When he first shows up, you really don't know what to think. Do you think it could be a bad choice that the movie is making? Turns out it's really good, because he's really funny, he's a comic relief character, and I love this character. He's just got such a great heart. His heart is in the right place. It really makes you question everything the humans are doing. It makes you root against your own species. You're rooting for the apes because you just look at somebody like Bad Ape who has a good heart. And then you look at somebody like Woody Harrelson and you're like, yeah, us human beings, yeah, we're a bunch of pieces of shit. This movie is not very action-centric. I can tell you that. Despite its title, it is not an action movie. It's a character drama. But it is a really good character drama about inner demons and trying to find oneself again. Telling that through the eyes of an ape. It just really hits home. When the action explodes on screen, it is all earned. And it looks lush. It looks great. The editing is top notch. The cinematography. Probably the best cinematography I've seen all year. There are so many scenes in this movie, whether it be characters talking, action sequences, or just beautiful, lush shots of this gorgeous landscape that made my jaw drop. This is up there with Logan. This might top Logan for my new favorite movie of the year. I think it has. From the opening scene, I was invested and I was interested. This movie had me riveted. It floored me. Runtime does not feel over bloated or too short. With the amount of content that this movie presents, it is the perfect runtime of 2 hours and 20 minutes. I cannot think of anything negative to say about this movie. That is how good this was. Even during long periods where it feels like there's nothingness in this movie, its dialogue, its characters, its story just kept me interested the whole way through. This is definitely the best of the Planet of the Apes trilogy. One of the best trilogies we have ever gotten. Up there with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Toy Story trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy, and the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm going to give War for the Planet of the Apes a perfect score of an A+. One of the best trilogies I have ever seen. Probably the best one I've witnessed in my lifetime behind Lord of the Rings. Definitely check this one out, guys. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, you're on YouTube, subscribe at the end of this video, and check out some past reviews I have done. I'll leave those at the end of this video as well. I should have reviews for Valerian and Dunkirk next week, and I will be doing a spoiler discussion video for War for the Planet of the Apes, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you next time.